One of the most important legendary Pokemon, Terrakion, is currently in 5-star raids, and you absolutely need to raid this Pokemon as much as you can because getting a 100% IV of Terrakion is definitely one thing you will want to have. I'm going to be talking about how you can take down Terrakion raids in this video. Let's get right into it. Alright, what's happening y'all? Jinsula here with a brand new Pokemon Go video. I hope your day is going really well, and let's get right into it. So, today we're going to be talking about Terrakion. This is of course a legendary Pokemon that is incredibly powerful and currently one of the best fighting types in the game. And I really do think that if you do not have yourself a 100% IV Terrakion, you need to try to go for it as often as you can. Terrakion is a very powerful Pokemon, but unfortunately the one thing that makes it the best fighting type in the game is the move Sacred Sword, which currently if you try to get a Terrakion in raid battles right now, you will not get one with Sacred Sword. But if you still get yourself a 100% IV, I wholeheartedly think it's worth using an Elite TM because getting one with Sacred Sword is going to unlock so much in Pokemon Go. It truly is that good as a fighting type. When it comes to gym battles that are using Pokemon like Blissey's and Chanseys, or when it comes to raid battles that are weak against fighting types like Dialga, Terrakion is always going to be a phenomenal choice for you to use. Now with Terrakion returning to raid battles, it is actually much easier than it was before, and the specific reason for that is because of the release of a new counter recently that pretty much every single Pokemon Go player should have as long as they participated in Pokemon GO Fest. And I'm of course talking about Crown Sword Zacian. This is right now one of the best counters to Terrakion. And yeah, it's going to make this fight so much easier. So, let's go over all the details for how you can take down Terrakion, and afterwards let me share some more thoughts. Terrakion is a duo rock and fighting type legendary Pokemon, which actually gives it quite a lot of weaknesses, which include fairy, fighting, grass, ground, psychic, steel, and water type attacks. If you bring the best of the best out of all of these types, then you will be good to go, but there are definitely going to be certain Pokemon which are going to be major standouts. Now, the Pokemon you will want to avoid bringing are the ones that have bug type, dark type, fire type, normal type, poison type, and rock type attacks, because all of those are going to be resisted by Terrakion. Now, if you want the perfect IVs for this Pokemon, you will want one that is 2113, that is the magic number, and if it's weather boosted, you will want one that is 2641. If it's better than 2625, that is going to be a Terrakion that you will want to keep. And then when it comes to a non-weather boosted, look for one that is over 2100. Now, and speaking of weather boosts, Terrakion is going to be boosted by the two kinds of cloudy weather, which is of course the really cloudy weather as well as partly cloudy weather. So when you check the weather boost and you see some kind of cloud, then that means it is time to go raid Terrakion. Now, taking down Terrakion doesn't require much, and the reason for that is because there's plenty of counters up against this raid boss, but if you want to secure the win with the least number of trainers as possible, I would suggest going with about 3 to 5 trainers that are at least level 35, but if you want to challenge yourself, you can duo this raid boss, and given certain conditions, you might potentially be able to solo it, but I do not want to count on that because Terrakion is still a Pokemon that does have quite a lot of health and it doesn't have any double weaknesses. But if you want to know what the absolute best counters are, here they are. Primal Kyogre or Primal Groudon are going to be great options for Primal Reversions, but between the two, maybe Primal Groudon is not necessarily going to be as powerful as Primal Kyogre, and the reason for that is because Primal Groudon does have fire type moves and Terrakion may potentially be stronger against it. Now, when it comes to a non-primal reversion, you could go with Mega Lucario. That is of course going to be the top fighting type Mega Evolution you can bring, but you could also use steel types as well to power up other steel types in the raid party. And then speaking of which, let's go over the best non-mega counters. This is of course going to be a new addition from the most recent Pokemon GO Fest, but it is going to be Crown Sword Zacian. And let me tell you, Crown Sword Zacian deals a tremendous amount of damage up against Terrakion, more so than even Mega Lucario, which is something I found personally. So yeah, Crown Sword Zacian, this is the time to bring it out because this is going to be the first true test case for just how powerful this Pokemon can be in raids. Now, other alternatives, of course, include Shadow Mewtwo. That is probably going to be the #1 raid attacker, aside from Crown Sword Zacian. And then there's, of course, last year's fusion, which is Dusk Mane Necrozma, which, up until Zacian, it was the #1 steel type in the game. So yeah, that's still going to be a viable Pokemon to use, especially if you do not have a Crown Sword Zacian fully powered up. Now, in terms of budget counters, you could of course go with either Lucario or Alakazam, but also Metagross is pretty good as well. Just make sure they're bringing the absolute best moveset, and you'll be able to take down Terrakion without issue. So ultimately, I think it's a big bummer that we're not able to get a Terrakion with Sacred Sword, that if you were to get yourself a 100% IV, that you will need to use an Elite TM in order to get Sacred Sword. But I do like the fact that it is back in raid battles, simply because it does draw out a lot of players. There are people out there who already have a really good Terrakion and they want to collect the candies and XL candies, and some players might even want the Shundo. So yeah, I think it's really nice that Terrakion is once again back in raids. It's certainly going to be the most exciting out of the 4 Swords of Justice Pokemon. And yeah, I just really wish it had Sacred Sword. I think that would have made this even better. But it's still a great opportunity for you to get a 100% IV, and then you can use your Elite TM to get Sacred Sword, and also you might get lucky and get yourself a Shundo, but even if you don't, you should try to farm up as much candy as possible, because ideally you want to have as many of these as you can with Sacred Sword, and have them all powered up. That's going to make your raid battles just significantly easier. And also gym attacking as well. So yeah, that's just all based on my own personal experiences, and based on numbers, Terrakion is a super powerful fighting type, and you absolutely need to have it in your collection. There's not a Pokemon that compares. I think the closest one is going to be Keldeo, but even Pokemon like Lucario and Shadow Machamp, they're very powerful, but they're nowhere near as strong as a Sacred Sword Terrakion. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, let me know your thoughts regarding Terrakion's return down below in the comments. Do you have yourself a 100% IV? I certainly do, and it's probably the one Pokemon I've used the most. Yeah, definitely share your thoughts regarding Terrakion and what you hope to get while it is in raid battles. And yeah, let's have a great discussion. Thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if it's your first time here, and don't forget the notification bell so you can stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. Real quick, let me give a shout out to all of my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support the Jinsula channel, if you want to support everything that I do, the best way you can do that is by becoming a Patreon member. If you decide to become a paid Patreon member, then I'm going to add you to my Pokemon Go friends list. That means for stuff like remote raids, the friendship system, opening and sending gifts. If you want to play Pokemon Go with me, then make sure you go and check out my Patreon. I'll put a link to it in the description below, and I always prioritize my patrons when it comes to raid invites and different things like that. So definitely go and check it out. And if you want to support my channel in a completely different way, you're always welcome to do so by following me on social media. My handle is @Jinsula. I'm on the platforms you see on the bottom of your screen. Make sure you go over there and give me a follow, and you'll have access to some exclusive content, and you'll be able to keep up with my daily life. And that's going to be it for this video. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself today, and I'll catch you all in the next one.